Hello, beautiful people out there. I want to take the time to tell you, follow your dreams. Don't let anything stop you. To dream the impossible dream. To fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, and to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, and to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow the star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for that heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest, and the world will be better for this, that one man scorned and covered with scars still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable, the unreachable, the unreachable star. And I'll always dream the impossible dream. Yes, when I reach the unreachable Thank you very much. I love you all very much. Now on to your regularly scheduled program. It's Don and Betty S. How about that?
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the midday show. You know, I gotta tell you, sometimes I see things they just amaze me. So the Knicks last night, Brunson got hurt. They're losing by 12. I shut it off. I said, okay, we're going to lose this game. And I said the series is done because they lost these players, right? So they found a way, a will to learn, a will to win. So today, Baxton went through 4 songs, and you heard them out here. And we went through every one of them. And every one I said, well, you got to do this a little better and that little better. And he's kicking it and doing it. And then he comes out with this, that he didn't practice. He just did it. And my goodness gracious. Now, we know Baxton for 2 years. And he does it every day. His uncle's on Broadway, and he came in here with him. He was gracious enough to bring his whole thing. But today, man, he made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
I'm telling you, you saw. I said he's giving me the chills.
That was good. That was impressive, man. It's just like I saw the Knicks game last night. I was like, who are these people?
Max, that was unbelievable, buddy. He's listening to it.
Real.
Wow.
But anyway, welcome to today's Thursday edition of the Brooklyn Cafe Midday Show. And we're off to a flying start.
Happy
I don't know.
Thursday. It has been.
What else to say?
I think it's the first time I've actually really sat down today. I'm trying to unclutter my brain, Tanya. But you and I, we went to scope out a shoot. Tomorrow we're going to be live at Casa Duce right here on 20th Street. So if you're in the area for our morning show, come on over, have some coffee, have some breakfast, be part of our live remote show. It's summertime in South Florida. So it's all about community, networking, having a cup of coffee and a conversation, and not always here in the studio, but we're coming out to your place of business as well. So come on out, join us for breakfast. Cameras are going to be rolling. Have some fun with us. And then we rolled into our morning show. Then Tanya and I don't often run board, but I seem to be helping do it more often. It's stressful for me. I get all kinds of like, I got to do it. But she did it beautifully. She ran it incredibly well.
You don't let me do it. You don't even let me approach the machine.
Do not approach the machine.
They don't even let me approach the machine. As I tell you, if you just peel it off, it'll come in and you're done.
So it was fantastic. So nice job Sue Kostick did on the Reinvented Life Network, all about your health and toxicity. It was part 2
good show.
of
very good show.
Checking your blood levels, which you always think, who wants to check my blood levels? But what it can show on toxicity and how you feel is truly remarkable.
And the zinc piece that she had in there, which you get from Roll-On deodorant, by the way.
Oh, the aluminum.
Aluminum.
Look at you knowing all kinds of things.
Well, we had a person that came in and educated us.
Interesting.
Aluminum on the underarms. And it happens, and your lymph nodes are down there, and it absorbs it. That's why you don't sweat. But when you have aluminum, it becomes dangerous. And on tomorrow's gig, we invite you to come on down and bring Mom. Because we're going to do something for Mother's Day. We got to see. We'll do it earlier. Maybe Tanya brings her mom. You come on down. We won't put Mom on the air or anything, but we'll hold up a glass to cheer like we did with the graduates. By the way, I got a ton of messages on the newsletter that you put out. And so congratulations once again. I got to tip my hat. But people were saying it's unbelievable, and again, unbelievable what you put out and what you guys all did together collectively to do this as well. And get your tickets for Tuesday.
Get your tickets for Tuesday for the J.C. Dreesen concert, 7:30 at Movies of Delray, Tuesday, May 14th. Tickets are available at Eventbrite for the Movies of Delray and events.amp2.tv. They start at $18 VIP, which is amazing. It's selling out. That we're now going to a bigger theater. We've released more VIP tickets, a meet and greet with JC. You get to hear from Morse Life one-on-one. All County is going to be speaking as well, and a whole lot of networking. Amazing. Broadway to Hollywood Part 2. On the big screen behind you, all of the movies and shows that have inspired JC to bring Part 2 forward. I'm amazed that this one has sold out also. See, when people say season here in Florida is over, off season the concert seems to do better than in season, which is amazing. So check it out. Come join our fun.
But I gotta tell you, I had the opportunity this time. I didn't get it the first time because Josh was like this. But this time I got to see the videos and I got to see the songs that she's gonna be singing, and I got to work on a couple of them. And I'm gonna tell you, not to flap my wings, but my goodness, that these shows come back and bring back memories. And some of these things, if you see it, when you see her sing them, just like Baxton just showed me, It's going to raise the hair in the back of your neck, and the videos are really, truly amazing.
You know, it's funny, because you and I aren't that far apart in age and years, but movies and different movies touched you, and certain ones touched me, and it's just a few years, but you go old school. Like, I can't even let the cat out of the bag, but you go old school. And me, I'm still at like the Ghost type of things and the movies and the things that Baxton did that I'm like, oh my gosh, Baxton, you're making me cry. And then you went all the way back and found old footage on the internet and put together some other pieces, which is pretty amazing.
Well, because I can't ask them something. He's different. Baxton's cut from a different tree because his uncle was on Broadway. So he's grown up on Broadway, and he knows plays, and he knows La Mancha. He knows different things. The kids don't know even Ghosts. They weren't even born when that came out. So you can't ask them to get the feel for the video. So they gave it to us. We put the feel to the video. We tell them, listen, this is it. So it became a learning experience.
They've done it not once, twice, 3 times. Jalen's been editing everything. Nathan's been re-editing. Everyone's been you've been re-editing. So it's finally going to bed, as they say today. Tonight is the sound check, dress rehearsal, and then Tuesday we go live. So pretty exciting. Join us.
It's going to be a lot of fun to come on down. And this hop a squat, as they used to say back in the day. And you know, I used to go to the Lowest Paradise in the Bronx. I used to go, when I was on 182nd Street, there were 2 movie theaters. I was in there all the time. Like, you see me go to the movie theater. I used to go 3 or 4 times a week to watch movies. I used to hang out down in Broadway. And then there was off-Broadway. I used to go to the Papaya King. What was it, 42nd, right? We used to hang out at the Papaya King, go see movies and plays. You had the Marriott bowling alley down there. I'm going to tell you, man, Roseland, yeah, Studio 54, all of these things in the city of New York. But I never went. I went one time only to the Empire State Building. One time. Never went again. Never went again. Wow. And the Statue of Liberty I used to hang out, and that little boat that goes around the island, I did
ferry?
that too. Yeah, I did that too. But I got to tell you, I love movies. They bring back a lot of memories. My parents loved movies. They used to watch the soapies and the movies and everything. It was just a different generation, man. It was just different. And you're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it. I guarantee you're going to love this show on Tuesday night. Get your tickets.
Get your tickets, come out. So a few events. We've got tomorrow morning, Costa Duce, right here on 20th Street. Movies of Del Rey on Tuesday. Let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got a new video that Nathan has put together for Military Appreciation Month, because we definitely do not appreciate our military, those who have served and those that are currently serving, what it's like for them to come back and get reacclimated into the U.S. lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Not easy, and that's what Beach Jam Media is all about on Wednesdays. Quick commercial break. Let's play the video, show you some JC music.
Perfect.
And then when we come back, we've got musical composer Cliff Greenberg joining us. And man, does he have a story. We met him on Gypsy Soul 2 weeks ago. Her show airs tonight again at 5:30 with Denise Marsh. But just when I thought we knew Cliff and Sammy, this is a whole other side. It's pretty spectacular, and Cliff is gifting a piece of art to us. So more to come on the other side of this break, and we'll be right back.
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Amp Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties. Open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
Amp Media Productions is excited to announce our expansion into North Miami. With our experienced team of radio and TV professionals, we are dedicated to bringing North Miami the highest quality audio and visual production services. Whether you need radio or television commercials, podcasts, music videos, or audio and visual storytelling, we can provide the solutions to help you reach your goals. Our team is reliable, innovative, and creative, and we're ready to help you develop the perfect product. With our competitive rates and personalized service, you can trust that your project is in the best hands. Contact us today to get started on your project. 866-224-5422.
Looking for art to add to your collection? Well, look no further. Here at Amp Media Studios, we house tons of art, ranging from abstract paintings to realistic portraits. Come on in and find the art that fits your home. Any and all art is up for sale, so pick yours up today. Stop by at 2400 Northwest 2nd Avenue, Boca Raton, Florida 33431. See you there!
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella.
Pizza Rica, tasty Richard Pizza at 2001 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard or contact 561-826-8663.
Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella.
Have you filed for disability benefits but were denied by the Social Security Administration? Or do you need to apply for benefits and are overwhelmed with paperwork? Are you between the ages of 50 to 63 and can no longer work because of an illness or injury? Thousands of hardworking Americans are in your situation. They file for disability benefits every month and are unnecessarily denied their much-needed benefit check. Call now for a no-obligation, free evaluation. We can help you nearly double your chances of approval and get your benefit checks faster. We understand the physical, emotional, and financial impact and will share our insider expertise. There is a time limit to apply. We're here to help you get your disability claim filed and paid as soon as possible. Please, time is limited. So, if you are between the ages of 50 to 63 and can no longer work because of an illness or injury, call right now and let us help you file your disability claim with the Social Security Administration.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
In the calm of early morning, when the day begins anew, we pause to reflect. May holds a special significance beyond just being another month. It is time for solemn remembrance, gratitude, and honoring those who've made tremendous sacrifice for our freedom. To all who served in the military, across all branches and the National Guard, to the veterans, and to the families who support them through thick and thin. We express our heartfelt thanks. Your courage, sacrifice, and unwavering dedication inspired us deeply. As we commemorate Military Appreciation Month, we recognize the importance of standing by our newest recruits. Those brave individuals venturing into an unknown, responding to duties called with determination, deserve our utmost respect and guidance. Equally important is our commitment to support those actively serving in the Air Force, Coast Guard, Army, Navy, Marines, and National Guard. Whether deployed abroad or stationed at home, they carry out their duties with honor and integrity. It is our responsibility to ensure they have the resources, care, and unwavering support necessary to fulfill their missions. So, as we observe Military Appreciation Month, let's unite in gratitude and solidarity. Let's honor the past, support the present, and inspire the future. To all who serve, have served, and those who stand beside them, we extend our deepest appreciation. Happy Military Appreciation Month.
Nice job. Nice fix on the pizzas on now. So we're ready to use that on the show on Wednesday?
Beach Gym meeting. We have a call with her today at 2:30.
It's fantastic. That's a great show. Tune in to the information. And again, to all our vets out there, thank you for your service. We don't do enough. Just don't do enough for our vets today. And I'm going to take that to the grave because we just don't. You know, it's just a shame of what the loss of life means to us and means to them, and they run towards the fire when we run away from it. So, nice piece to move on. This portion of the show, now I gotta tell you, I'm in New York. Right now. I'm in the Bronx right now, $6 lunch break for 2 slices of pizza and a drink at Pizza Rica.
Rica.
And I mean, I used to get that when I was in the Bronx. There used to be a bus stop on my way to DeWitt Clinton. It used to stop in front of Harry's Pizza, I think it was, or Joe's Pizza. And I used to get off the bus, and he used to wait for me with 2 slices and a soda for $6.
Wow.
That's going back over 30 years.
And this is an entire pie. Are you a cheese lover? Only $10. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, large cheese pizza pickup. Pizza Rica in Boca Raton. Only $10 for an entire pie.
And you can get 2 large pies with a topping on each one, regular topping, for $24. Weren't we paying like $60 at another place?
There's another pizza place had to bring luncheon for the crew with $60 for 2 pies, and this is only $24.
We got to go see him.
Imagine $60 for pizza. Right?
And pizza was a staple in New York City. That's what you said. My kids used to love the flat pizza on the corner of the house. So I was always out $30, $40. But this lunch thing is unbelievable. This is what I used to pay when I went to DeWitt Clinton.
2001 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard, right on the corner of 20th Street and Boca Raton Boulevard. You can't miss it. It is across the street from Dunkin' Donuts. Pizza Rica, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Large cheese, only $10. 561-826-8663. Get your pizza.
And tell them that the Brooklyn Cafe sent you. I'm going to give these out to the hosts of the other shows because that's a good buy for dinner. They have a chicken pizza thing there for $20-some odd. That's not bad.
We're going to be eating lunch and dinner here because we've had a late night tonight. So we got, I know, not for you. You got chia pudding in the fridge. All right, let's move on to our guests. I'm excited. We've got Cliff David Greenberg joining us, composer, performer, and when we got to meet Cliff and Sammy on Denise Marsh's show, Gypsy Soul, 2 weeks ago, when I reached out to Cliff, He left his cup here. Now, I thought he was kidding because Denise Marsh says to me, Cliff left a red cup here. Now, there was a red cup on the table, which was a solo cup. So when I cleaned up Thursday, there was a plastic red solo cup. So she texts me, and I think she's joking, that because you were kidding around that Thursday night, that you left the red solo cup here, until I realized it wasn't the red cup. So in my brain, I'm thinking, oh, he's making a funny. He didn't really leave his cup here, but in essence, he did.
He did, but it was gray.
And it was gray.
It was gray.
But I reached out to bring them both on. Sammy works full time down at Jack's Memorial, but Cliff is able to come in, and he's got a whole nother side to what he does. And even more so than I realized. So welcome to our studio. I can't even do justice. I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Oh, my name's Cliff David Greenberg.
And he says to us, I talked to him yesterday, he said, I've got a gift for you in the studio. So he saw our Virgin Mary and all the angels, and we're very spiritual. This piece, trying to see if we can zoom out and get a picture of this on the camera. His grandfather was an artist as a side hustle.
For his entire life. And I have about 300 of his paintings, all original.
Really?
You'll see in a second.
No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one, Tanya. Tanya, go to that one and bring it right on the painting.
Move camera 3 over. She may need help doing that.
So the last time I was here, I was looking around the studio of so much artwork everywhere, and this particular image popped into my head, and I thought, oh, wow. So I started looking through all 300 paintings that I have, and I found it, and it was the exact one that I wanted to bring. So I wanted to give it to you guys because you have such a beautiful art
What's
here.
the history on it?
So he painted, like I said, for his entire life. And about the year before COVID, I was sitting in my living room because anywhere I've lived looks like this, but with his paintings. So paintings everywhere and all particularly placed. And I started thinking, I wonder if I just played some music while I looked at it. And I started doing it. I was like, wow, that was really fun. That was really cool. Are you getting it? Yeah. Oh, it doesn't look like that's why.
Now, did you play music before the art or the art?
Well, I've been playing music my whole life.
Okay.
But this particular moment and then I videoed myself doing it. I showed it to a few friends, and they were like, how did you come up with that music? I said, I don't know. I was looking at the image, Is it coming in? Oh, okay, good. And
there it is.
So I did a bunch of them, and then I said, hey, let me start a Facebook page. And I called it Grandpa and I. So Grandpa and I. And I started posting videos every day for like 150 days in a row. I accumulated, lots of people were following, and they were really enjoying the music. And for me, it was a great expression, to just improvise and create without trying to make it fit into something, And then as time went on, through COVID, of course, that was not the time to try to sell art at the beginning of COVID, right? Because nobody had money and everybody was freaking out. So I sort of abandoned the idea for a while. And then last April, my mom got diagnosed with cancer, and her and my dad live in Pennsylvania. So they gave her 6 months. And I started traveling back and forth almost every other week, sometimes every week, sometimes 3 weeks. I would fly in, and getting to the top of a mountain in Pennsylvania, it takes a long time. I would travel sometimes 7 or 8 hours.
Wow.
And I would spend 12 or 14 hours with her, and then I would leave and travel another. And I was doing that for months and months and months. And sometimes you can't put into words what you're feeling or experiencing because you're living it at the moment. And sometimes it's hard to catalog while you're living. But I started hearing all this music in my head as I was traveling, because, you're doing nothing for hours. And I started hearing pieces of music, and then I started thinking, wow, what if I took some of that stuff and just didn't do it to an image? What if I just took the theme and I created just a piece of music out of it? So I started doing that. And then as I'm listening to it in my travels, because I record, I have a studio, and I was sitting on the plane coming home, and they make you close the blind when you take off. And so it was pitch black, in the plane. And we were already up, so I opened up the window, and I saw, something I've never seen before, 32,000 feet up, above the clouds in this particular thing. And I grabbed my phone and I put it up against the glass and I filmed it. And as I'm filming it, I was hearing this music in my head. And as soon as I got home, I started like creating to that video, which brings me to here. And that's why I want to show the video, because that was the sort of the beginning of making instrumental music. I've never done it before. I've always.
When did you start doing this?
With the Grandpa and I stuff was the year before COVID, but this was in April when I started traveling.
How old were you when your grandfather passed away?
I was already 30, so it's 1999. So
Now he was an artist, not as a career. You said
he was a
played
musician in his younger life. He played with like Benny Goodman, Frank Sinatra, Jimmy. He was a live musician. He would literally go to the Union Hall in New York, just like a carpenter would, and they would give him an address, and he'd show up at the gig, and he would play trumpet for hours.
Is this is this charcoal?
I think it's pastel, actually.
Pastel.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. He painted in every form of media, every genre, every paint and charcoal and pencil and pen and ink, and I have paintings that are as large as these, and I have ones that are like tiny, and everything in between. It's enormous.
And Cliff saw our Virgin Mary, the
Yeah,
studio,
I saw
and
the
he thought
right.
this would be the perfect piece right above her. So he even, not only did you know the piece you wanted
Yeah.
to bring in, and we're so grateful
Thank you.
that where he thinks it would be, where we should put it as well,
It
he
seems
thought
like
was
it
a
would
great
fit
spot.
there, yeah.
So he's got a great spot. I'm going to order a frame for it.
Okay.
And put it right above her.
I gotta tell you, and you know the story about the Virgin Mary, right?
No.
That Virgin Mary was, that Virgin Mary has over 50,000 souls saved, because it was in a building where people used to go.
Apparition Center in Hollywood.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the gentleman that told us about it said that it's now in a warehouse. So I said, it's in a warehouse? He says, yes, because the person died that was running the center and everything else. And I said to him, well, can we have it? And he looked at me, and his head went sideways. And he says, well, there are 3 churches that want it. I said, okay, can I have it? And he says, okay. So he asked, and we drove one morning. I took 2 of the producers. We have a kid that we call Gato, big guy, me and G-Man, him went. He says, all right, get out the way.
You need a big guy to lift that thing. It's huge.
Well, it weighs over
550
500 pounds. He picks it up in a bear hug and puts it on a truck. Brings it here, takes it in a bear hug, and me and G are just making sure he doesn't hurt himself.
He's just standing there.
And there she sits, and then they fix it, and they went to work on it. So that carries its own story.
Yeah.
This actually will marinate with that story. And I gotta ask,
Yeah.
your music, because I heard you play on the other show,
Right.
is phenomenal.
Thank you very much.
I mean, phenomenal.
Thank
I mean, you're not a mystery. You're not a young man to music. You seem to be that gone around the block on this stuff.
Yeah, lifelong.
Did he influence you at all in what you do?
Yeah. Like just the depth that he would go into creating the image. It's like this thing. You look at it, and like at first glance, you think maybe those are her arms, but then as you keep looking, and it's no, she's clutching the baby. So, all of his paintings are like that. For years, I've looked at them, and I still find new things. And, just the way this red is here, nowhere else in the painting, that particular spot. So I think that resonates with me a lot, is the detail, presenting the idea in a way that's understood when you look at it, but also free to your own thoughts about it. Anyone would have a different association with this picture for some, whether it's religious or it's spiritual, or like you would. And so that in my music, I really try to do that, which is why the instrumental thing was so. It just felt so natural to me, because I didn't have to write words, and I didn't have to come up with melodies vocally. You know what I mean? And to try to express those emotions that I was feeling while I was traveling back and forth, trying to see my mom and dad, because he was also sick, and as much as possible within the parameters of my life and financially, and
So
I
let's
teach
play
and I
one of them.
perform and I have my studio, and she said to me, like, do not stop your life for this. And I said, I'm not going to stop my life. I'm going to incorporated in.
You have a music studio in Hollywood, right?
Yep. So juggling all of that, which is why most of the time I could like fly in on a Sunday morning and I would have to leave Monday morning to get back here.
Wow.
Yeah, or some crazy,
It's really
thing of travel.
We've got the 2 videos to play.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's ironic that Cliff is here at this stage of the game. We have a new show that we've been talking about now that we want to start, I think, in a week or 2 weeks.
I think first week in June we're going to start it.
It's called Inside the Mind of an Artist.
Wow.
And you are the poster child to why that show is being put together, because you do music and you relate that to the arts.
So yeah,
and if you look around, that's what we do.
I know, that's why it struck me so. And so the album, I called it First Person because it's my experience, my perception of what's going on. But then when I played it for friends and peers while I was creating it, they were telling me what they were experiencing from it. And then that gave me the idea, like, oh wow, it's not only my vision. Anyone would have their own vision of it. So it becomes their first person account of what they're listening to. And so I've gotten a lot of, responses or reviews about that particular thing. Like, that made me think of this time when I was young. Or, I had a friend who was driving through the Tennessee mountains, and he was listening to the album, and he said there was a moment where, like, he started to tear up because the visual image accompanied by the music he was listening to on my album, he said it all just clicked. And he said, I got like a tear in my eye. And I thought, like, wow, it's very touching. It's touching people like it's touching me,
Have you done a concert where there's video behind you? Have you ever seen or done that?
Not yet.
Well, that's what we're doing on Tuesday night with JC, and it's something that we've been doing for, I'd say, maybe a year and a half. And we put on the video behind you, and there's no shadow because it's done like a movie theater.
Yeah, right. Oh, wow.
And then you get to sing, and it could be anything. It could be clips that you've put together, and that's what the crew does, and they spend 24 hours a day putting this whole thing together.
Yeah.
But what you're experiencing, what other people are experiencing, we brought to the movie theaters when they were on strike, and there were no movies. The movies were coming from Europe or whatever.
Right.
And we wanted to have people continue to come into the movie theaters, and that's why we did it. So what you're telling us is amazing because we just went through it.
Yeah,
we just went through it.
I could bring a painting in and just make up music right there to what I'm seeing.
Why don't we play one of your pieces?
Yeah, thank you.
So people can understand and put their own sense of feeling to it.
I saw this image, and I couldn't stop hearing this music in my head, and I got home and I recorded it, and then I put it together, and all, you'll see.
Okay, Jalen, let's roll it.
Thank you very much.
It's good stuff. I'm gonna tell you, it's good stuff. Very nice.
Thank you
Very
so much.
nice.
Thank you.
I think you've got a whole lot to say. Because you can even tell by the text, you've got so much within you that you want to share that a text doesn't even describe it. And then you send me another one and
I
another
know.
one. So I'm so glad you're here because it's so much easier to understand the story, hearing it from you, than on a text. Because a text is like...
Yeah, it was very hard. Believe me, I would read and proof and read and then say like, all right, I'll send it. But I still like, I you know, it's hard to, you know, so that one, like, I'm leaving the first time I got to see my mom after she got diagnosed, you know, so she still looked pretty normal, you know, and then that happened, and it was so, I don't know, spiritually connective, and I thought I was the only person with their blind dog, and I said, besides the pilot and the co-pilot, I think I'm the only human being on the planet that is seeing this particular moment, and it just struck me so hard, and I kept hearing that
and you played all of the instruments.
I played, yeah.
And you just
and
layered
this one
them
was
and put them
drums,
together.
bass, acoustic guitars, but the album is filled with all kinds of. I play piano and ukulele, cello, and so that each piece has a different.
Did
you know,
you
they're
go
not
to
really
music
songs;
school?
they're more pieces.
Did you go to school for music?
You know, I started self-taught, and then I went to college at Broward College when I moved here from New York, and. You know, I did 2.5 years. I have like over 100 credits of music, and I never finished. And I went into the private sector, and so I teach private
Well, your
students.
playing is unbelievable.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
I mean, I
Thank
was floored by what I heard on that show, which ends up being her #1 show watched on
we
that
do that.
show.
We do that every week.
And the amazing thing is you and I laugh, Facebook jail, which means we're not able to share it out to all of our platforms
Till
because
tomorrow.
Facebook stops us. But my point being, weren't able to share her show.
Yes.
Right.
And she gets upset because by the time Thursday comes around, we're always in Facebook jail. And she says, why are you always in jail when it's my show? But her show, she keeps sending us the numbers and the numbers. And so without us doing what we normally do, is our #2 show on the network.
It is. And I got to tell you, the Thursday night schedule has been doing better and better. Everything across the board, social media and everything else, the radio station, all the numbers are going in this direction. But I got to tell you,
great.
you give me about 500 different ways of going this way. Is your art for sale, or you're just showing to show it?
My grandfather's art. I mean, yes, it would be.
So if somebody calls in right now and wants to...
Yeah, I mean, sure. You know, I've
Can you
sold
part
some.
with it?
I've gifted some when I feel it relative, you know, and important. I'd rather his work be out there, you know, and be looked at by people than sitting in my house, you know, underneath sheets to keep the dust off. You know what I mean?
Was he religious, spiritual?
No, he had an amazing eye and a perspective, you know, to look at things, and the way he twines his things together. I think that resonated with me the most, was that, because the music I make is always very twined together. It's not just a guitar or a bass or you know, I don't really consider myself like a particular instrument player. I'm an accompanist. So whatever's happening, I accompany that.
But it's a feel.
It's a feel, right? Well, that's what I mean. I'm not playing guitar parts or bass parts. I'm playing a feeling, and this instrumental music is like the epitome of that, because there's no pop song, there's no lyrics, there's no, you know, I have other music I write, which I'm producing now that I also sing on, and that's a whole other genre of music. But this particular music has no genre, which is great, because in today's world everything is genreified, and we come from a generation where you had rock and you had disco and there was country, and that's about it, blues, you know. But now it's like every little thing is a genre and a thing, and people ask me all the time, what genre is it? And I'm like, I don't know, it's me. That's what it is. It's me without my English. That's the way I look at it. It's me without English.
People come in here and they say, you've got a Virgin Mary, you're Jewish. Okay. You've got a mezuzah, and you're not Jewish.
Yeah.
We've got art, we've got spiritual shows, we've got angels, whatever you believe, and then we add music to the color and the spiritualness and whatever you want to call it in this studio.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me a sense of what I love to do, because when I leave these walls and I go to my house and it's, did you see, this one's going to jail and this one did this. I'm so much happier in this space than in that space, and I hope we get to bring this space to our viewers and our listeners, because it's a better place to be. No matter what you believe in or don't believe in, there's something you're going to find here that you can truly sink your teeth in and hold it, and hopefully hold hope in your heart.
Absolutely.
Very
and
true.
you know,
Very true.
you bring it forward because we're all human beings. It doesn't matter you're Jewish or you're Catholic or you're Hindu or whatever it is, you're a human being first.
Right.
And the bottom line is that hurt is hurt. Doesn't matter who you are. If you hurt somebody, I don't care if you're Jewish or whatever, you have no right doing it. You know, the bottom line here is I could go to temple, I could go to a church, or I could go in a hole in the ground. It's going to be the same difference in my beliefs. But when you come forward with this kind of music, it's uplifting. All of a sudden, things don't look as bad. All of a sudden, the day is getting a little bit nicer. Doesn't he look like Duff from
Maybe
the
a little
radio
bit.
station? When I saw him, I thought it was Duff. I said, that's Duff? We've been involved with art and music now 6.5 years, because we started at the Heart of Del Rey and came down here. 6.5 years through COVID and everything else. And the idea of what you're expressing is exactly what we want people to understand, because we try to tell the hospitals, you're exactly the cure they need. People get healthier quicker when they feel what you're showing and the music behind it.
And they could connect and relate to it. And
Absolutely.
Music is the ultimate expression of human emotion. It's
Absolutely.
by far, possibly more than even painting and art, because you can tap so many different things in it. As an educator and a teacher, I try to expose my young students to the emotional content of what they're doing, not just the technical aspect of it. Obviously you need enough technique to show your art, right? Even the most talented people don't just fall out of bed and are great. They have to work at it. And so, but when you get to a point where you can express yourself, and we all do that verbally when we talk to people all the time. And that was sort of the thing in my mind, is how could I express these feelings without English?
And you have a link tree, Spotify, where people can find
Apple,
all
yeah, you could look up my name, Cliff David Greenberg, on every, platform. And then, and I'm releasing more and more videos. I have 10 videos out of the 17 pieces on the album. So 7 of them I didn't write to video, they just came to me. And they're all wrapped in the emotions of, the anxiety or the want or desire to be connected with your family, your mom. I got lucky enough that I had that relationship with her, that we were tight. We talked every day, multiple times, for my whole life. So when she got sick, people said, "Oh, well, you're probably talking to her more often." And no, it's the same, every day. And I was kind of going through the thoughts in my head about doing this album with her, and I started showing her some of the videos that I would catch as I was traveling back and forth, and playing her what I could put together just to show. And she was said, "Wow, this is even more than with your grandfather's art, because now this is not just your art, your eye, and your music." And I have all these videos of being in a car, on a train, waiting for a train. I have this above the clouds, and I also have below the clouds, which is like the taking off. And they're all different visions of the different cities I was flying into to try to catch a bus or
A beautiful tribute for Mother's Day.
Thank you.
And it has also a different perspective in life,
It does,
because
yeah.
you're appreciating the things around you.
The other video I have the piece is called "Going," and it's anytime I was sitting in whatever vehicle and I was on the right side, that meant I was going home, So this one's called "Going" because I was leaving and going back home to Florida, and the visual image is me sitting on a train, but you don't see me. You just see my first person image, similar to the clouds, but from being on a train. I have buses, and
All right, we're going to head out to commercial break. Let's play the next piece that Cliff has. When we come back
Thank
on the
you.
1 o'clock hour, share some J.C. Dreezy music. Cliff, you could stay with us for a little bit, I hope.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk to Linda Hamburger.
Absolutely.
She's joining us. We're going to talk about careers, PR, resume writing. I thought kind of inspirational, since we've got a lot of crew that are graduating and a lot of our listeners' children and grandchildren are graduating, to see what's happening on the other side of the world for them.
Perfect.
More to come on the other side of this commercial break. Follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at the Brooklyn Cafe TV. Like and subscribe on YouTube to get notified when we go live. More to come, Tanya. Hang tight. We'll help you out. We'll be right back.
Do you want the opportunity to have a TV show or podcast? Now, at Amp Media Productions, you can host your very own visual broadcast anywhere around the world. With our talented group of creators, we will provide you with show elements, board operations, and any on-screen visuals you'd like to showcase. All you must do is log onto your computer and communicate with your viewers. Contact Amp Media Productions at 866-224-5422 or email hello@amp2.tv to start your own show today.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Love the Brooklyn Cafe? Don't miss out on some of the latest merch we have available. Need a new shirt? The Brooklyn Cafe has you covered. We have a variety of shirts in all sizes, ranging from the classic cafe shirt to the highly coveted colorful hot dog shirt. Need something for cold weather? Why not grab one of our cafe hoodies? Or you can snuggle up with one of our soft silk touch fabric blankets. The Brooklyn Cafe has everything you need, from clothing about the show to our signature coffee blends and mugs. Get it while supplies last.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do, and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching? Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and feet? Maybe you don't even have any feeling at all. These symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-2 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. That is 754-222-6642, or visit us online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends, spend more time in range, significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances cover continuous glucose monitors, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the CGM Health Hotline now.
Welcome to the Chocolate Spectrum, nestled in the heart of Jupiter, Florida, where every sweet indulgence tells a story of hope. Founded by Valerie Herskowitz for her son Blake, who is on the autism spectrum, the family-owned Artisan Chocolate Company has been spreading joy since 2013. Here, individuals with autism and other developmental disabilities are empowered with training and employment opportunities, which not only give them purpose, but also teach valuable skills. Support a greater cause with your exquisite treat by shopping in-store or online at shop.thechocolatespectrum.com, with shipping nationwide all year round, or call at 561-277-9886. The Chocolate Spectrum, where every bite makes a difference.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
I got to tell you, you know what? We talk to people, we get to meet them over the phone, texting, but until you hear their stories, you really never know. That's what I love so much about what we get to do. We get to learn the stories behind the people.
Well, that's why you've been doing this with me, what, 8 years? 9 years? How long has it been?
We're going on 8 next month, our 8-year anniversary.
8 years.
Pretty amazing.
Boy, does time fly by when you're
Feels
having
like
fun.
80, right? And I have to thank Sally Bernard because the new picture that is behind Freddie, she brought in yesterday. There's a few new paintings here as well. Sally has a show with us, Call Me Zena, on Mondays at 2:30, and it's all about her life. Sally is a psychic and a medium, but she is also an artist that she did not realize she was an artist until later in life. And if you look at the fine lines and the details of this piece behind you, Freddie, she does this with no rulers, no premeditation on what she's going to do.
Why didn't you put that one behind me? Because this one moves. Why didn't you put it behind you? One day this thing is going to, arms are going to come out of it.
Nigel's good. Nigel watches over everyone.
Put Nigel
to
behind
me,
you.
there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dragons in that painting. You see an
Me and
African
G-Man.
woman.
Me and G-Man. Yes.
But that's what's so amazing about art, is that different people see different things. Like I see the dragons, the mom and dad, and then the 3 babies. You see an African woman with a headdress, which is, but that's what makes art so incredible.
I want it behind you next time.
Behind me?
Yeah.
Why, you feel like Nigel's coming down your throat?
I feel like there's somebody behind you.
You'd rather have the wands behind you?
Yes.
We could do that. We can swap it in the next commercial break for you.
Thank you very much.
So come on down and see what's going on in the studio. Tanya's doing fantastic. You know, some of the guys in the crew, their hands are so strong that they tighten the cameras, thankfully.
I can't unscrew them.
But then some of us can't unscrew them. So I'm watching her like hang on the camera pole trying to unscrew it. So they came out and they helped her.
You know how embarrassing it is when I can't open a bottle of wine and I have to give it to Jade and she goes like that? You know how embarrassing that is?
That's right. We have Jalen double check you on the water filter too.
Yeah, and for nothing because I got it right.
You did get it right.
Yeah, Nobody says that part.
You got it right.
And she says, oh, we know, we trust you, we just don't think you remember how to do things. One day I'll call, hello, where's the studio?
You make it easy, though.
Oh, yeah. The Instagram piece.
I took it down. I took it down. Didn't mean anything by it. We were talking about the $800 jeans that were posted.
Back. Yeah. And what did you say?
There's a post for $800 jeans that looked like a gentleman urinated in them. So they were stained to look like you did what you did. And then you started talking about termites and holes in your pants.
Because they used to sell, remember back in the day they had the jeans with the plastic on the buttocks? You remember those? And I was just telling him, I wasn't telling him to buy it. And then the one with the jeans now, they rip the jeans. There's more holes in them than Swiss cheese, and I call it termite pants.
They're called holy jeans.
So she puts on this piece that I'm encouraging people to buy these things. No.
So I took it down. I'll repost it with a different caption.
Thank you.
It's all good. Today is National Sleepover Day, so Bax and have some fun. Anyway, our next guest joining us is Linda Hamburger, and I got to speak with her on the phone the other day, and then you said, who's coming in? And apparently you know this lady.
10 years ago, I met her at the WNN radio studios. I asked her to come up, and we talked a little bit about what she was doing at the time, which I don't remember. And I asked her to help me sell Amp Square, Amp2 TV networking back in the day, but she was too busy for me. She was way too busy for me. She says, no, I don't have time for this. And
so she's joining us. She's got an extensive background as a professor in media and public relations and marketing and resume writing. And I thought with graduation season here, and I know a lot of our crew, they send us resumes, and I say all the time, some of the best resumes are not those that we hire or even bring in, because it's when we meet them, there has to be that right fit, that right feel. And then there are others in here that the resumes, when they apply, have nothing to do with what we do, but then they're the most amazing candidates and they work with us for years. So I'm glad you're here because, see, what are we looking for to put in a resume and business and all of these things that are happening. So welcome.
All right, well, thank you. As you said, I was too busy for you 10 years ago.
She still is, but...
No, not so much now, fortunately. I have a little bit scaled back. But back then, 10 years ago, it was like the painting you were describing. Different people looked at that painting, meaning me, and saw different things. So at that point in my time, I was an adjunct professor at University of Miami. I was a public relations executive with the largest entertainment production company in the state of Florida, Emmy Productions. I had founded my own organization called the South Florida Public Relations Network, which was like the biggest thing at its time, because at one time, believe it or not, I was at the forefront of a lot of trends, including the introduction of computers to daily life, so you get an idea of where I am in my crossroads. So being at that point, I came here today with 3 topics in mind that I hope I get to touch on while I'm with you. One is my own story, because I love to talk about myself. It is like seriously one of my favorite topics. And so if somebody's not talking, I just work that right in. Okay, but the other topic that I brought in is how to write a good resume. People don't see you. They're seeing a printed word, and they can't hear the inflection in your voice. They don't see your body language. It's just something you have to convey on paper. So I want to touch on that. And then the third point that I want to get in, so make sure, do me a favor, make sure I get this in. Once you have the resume, you got to get the job. And a lot of people don't know how to then get the job. They got a really cool resume, but no clue what to do with it next. So to me, those 2 components go together. I'd like to say one more thing, if I may, and I'm just going to put it out there. I've been fired a lot. I mean, a whole lot. I mean, I've been fired more than I've been hired. Okay, I got fired so many times, I got great at finding jobs. Okay, so I was in a very competitive business, public relations, and you had a lot of stress with it. It sounded very glamorous, and okay, it was, I admit it. I went to all kinds of parties, did wonderful things, but it was competitive. It was almost like trying to be an actor or an actress. It had that glamour appeal to it, so it was very difficult to break in and to stay in. I got so good at it, I realized I can make a career out of helping other people get good at breaking in, getting their next job, and going forward with their career.
What did you teach at UM? Public relations?
I've taught quite a few classes as an adjunct at our universities. So the wonderful thing about being an adjunct is you never got tired because you were never teaching the same subject matter repeatedly. So I was teaching marketing for many years, advertising, public relations, sales, debate, history, and there is one consistency through all those classes. So it wasn't important. I had to teach what I was familiar with, of course. So I had the master's in marketing, I had the master's in public administration, and 20 years of work experience. But the main number one thing, I didn't care what class you were in. If you were a freshman, a sophomore, a senior, you were going to work on those writing skills. You were going to find a way to talk to the audience through good writing, because once you're done with that degree and you're in front of the boss doesn't want long run-on sentences and big long paragraphs. So anybody can go out and do the research. AI can do your writing, but can you convey in the written word without AI sitting in front of you what you want to tell a room full of important people?
It's interesting because we put a whole article together in the newsletter about communication, right? What AI can do, but what AI cannot do. And that's 100% true. You can have AI write your resume. You can have AI write a song.
Which I have.
Right? But you need that singer and you need the composition behind it to share the feeling of what that music should be.
That's right. That's exactly. And it's funny you're saying about resume writing and to get a job, because I think that the biggest challenge for these kids graduating is to be able to tell you who they are. They write it on paper, and then when you talk to them, it's like two different people.
Yep.
Like, who is this and who are you? And they can't relate the two together because somebody either helped them do it, AI helped them do it, and it's really not them.
You hit exactly on what I was going to segue into next, which was that AI can't help you if you're crying. If you're so distracted and disturbed and upset that you have been fired, or you haven't gotten your foot in the door, or an interview went wrong and you're just emotionally not there, you need a resume writer who is also a little bit of a career coach. Somebody who can say, hey, you're not alone in this journey, and I'm going to give you some things that can make you stand out so you'll be more confident going forward. So AI can't do that. That's what people can do.
Do you do that? Are you a career coach as well as helping
Oh,
with resumes?
absolutely, absolutely. They go hand in hand. There's resume mills. I'm not going to say don't use them. They're very expensive oftentimes, and you might get a good product, you might not. I can't guarantee what's coming out from many other businesses and independent resume providers, other than, yeah, you'll get a good one through me. That's not a problem, of course. I can pretty much guarantee, you're going to be stepping ahead. But AI can't capture you practicing in front of a camera or a friend.
But let me ask you a quick question. Do you believe that the coaching a person has to come first before the resume is put together?
Good question. That was an excellent question. This is what I tell people. If you're not getting the interviews, it's the resume. If you're getting the interviews and not getting the job, it's the way that you are interviewing.
Excellent.
So to answer your question, you need the good resume. You need to look good online. Very important to look good online. Go check your profile. Make sure nothing hinky's there. And you need to also have a good traditional piece of paper, something that you can take to an event, not just to email folks. Okay, you follow what I'm saying there?
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely, well spoken. And then I want to ask you real quick, because we got a lot of kids that watch the show in here, FAU and everything else. Does doing something dumb that gets online, does that come back to haunt you, or is that just something that's set by your parents?
It'll haunt you. There's no doubt it'll haunt you. You're your own service product today. Consider yourself an ad. So if something is inappropriate that you have online, see if you can perhaps remove that from being online. Or, and this is what a lot of people try to do, drown it out with so many more current contemporary pieces of information about you, your story, that those things, the black marks from when you were younger or where you made a mistake, they get a little buried. You follow what I'm saying? So they're not right there in neon for you. They're a little further down. So only somebody who wants to really scratch into your background might find that. You follow there how important that is?
Absolutely, but I wanted them to hear you say that. You know, I saw a documentary with Rock Johnson, was Stallone, that said, you know, you go to college for 4 years, and when you go in front of an employee, he wants to make sure if you dedicated yourself to do this for 4 years, you got to have something up here. But I have to be able to trust you so you don't mess up my business, and that's the other half of those 4 years. So dedication of school is one thing. You finish school, now you have to be able to put that whole thing together. But I'm glad that you said that, because a lot of kids take for granted that they did something and it's not going to come back to haunt them, even if it was 4 years ago. Employees are smart. They look everywhere now. And everything can be documented, so just stay clean.
Let's talk about that. To bring it into current events right now, there's a lot of upheaval on our campuses throughout the country, and the students are rightfully upset about the Israel and Palestinian conflict and war, and of course, rightfully so, they would like to see this end. However, if you're thinking about your career, I'm going to tell you, step back from being too ardent a supporter. Try to find a way to be a supporter in sort of the back scene. I have written for many, many, many important, valuable causes, nonprofits. Right now I'm working with the Haitian American Chamber of Commerce. That alone could be controversial. But I'm not standing in a picket line saying that there's intense drug dealing and homelessness right now in Haiti. I am trying to tackle it with a behind-the-scenes grassroots effort where I post about it. I call reporters. I try to get that voice out there. I know it may seem unfair that you sometimes feel you can't march in that picket line, but don't. There's other ways you can be very valuable to an important cause. It's important to understand that in college, your focus is education and holding a part-time job. And people are not going to begrudge you because you're not an active member of a cause at that time in your career, but they'll understand that you chose that time in your life to focus on your studies. And we're active behind the scenes. That's what I'd like young people to know. Very important.
I like that she's tackling the tough subjects and the tough topics. You're not sugarcoating it. You're putting it right out there. It's really important. Because I don't think can't think people are really thinking all of these things through. Whatever side you're on, you got to think it through.
And Linda, I want people to understand, because some kids think that they're showing their passion towards a cause. And that doesn't always translate over to getting that good job, because being passionate and being overzealous are two different things. And sometimes an employee is going to say, well, wait a minute, I don't need somebody who's going to rebel. I need somebody who's going to be smart and think out of the box. So it's important that you're not telling them not to be passionate, but you're telling them there's a right way and there's another way to do it, correct?
Well, my passion back when I was in college was we didn't want nuclear plants. Okay, there was a lot of coverage in the media, there was movies about it, and I'm in college and a friend comes out and says, will you come out here and do a protest with us and sit by the nuclear plant? Well, I'm thinking, I don't want to get beat up. I don't want to necessarily get in over my head. So, excuse me, so what I did instead was I got an internship with the Solar Energy Research Institute, SERI, where their focus obviously was trying to find alternative methods of energy so that we would not be necessarily dependent on all the forces that we have now. And the funny thing is, not funny, haha, but funny thing is, we haven't found that solution yet. Now, we don't have that perfect solution yet. It's still a hot topic. Fossil fuels, alternative fuels, solar power. So what you're doing, again, no matter who you are, you can shape yourself in high school and college for something that you don't see in the bigger picture, what's coming ahead. Focus on some wonderful nonprofit or important causes, but focus on them as an academic, using your head, you know, not necessarily your body.
Should resumes still be a page like they used to be back in our day?
For young people, a resume should be a page. Anybody who's had a few years of work should be going for 2 pages, but not more. I get a lot of people, though, who might even be in their 40s and 50s, and they'll say, well, my resume goes on to 3 or 4 pages. And, you know, I kind of hate doing it. It doesn't feel good to tell them you got to cut that back and put it down to 2 pages and maybe use an addendum for some of your more accomplishments. But I do have to ask people to work with me that their jobs should not go back more than 2 or 3 professional jobs, and the bullet points under those jobs should not be duplicating, but should be unique to each position. So don't say I wrote at all 3 of your different jobs. You know, say I wrote about nuclear energy. I wrote about Haitian American Chamber. I wrote about, you follow, and make it more precise to what it is that you did with that exact position. So 1 page for somebody who's coming out, 2 pages for somebody who's got a little more experience. Avoid 3 pages. Professors, I get it, you might have 7, 8, 10 pages. That's understandable.
Now, Linda, is there such a thing as overselling yourself in a resume?
Pardon me, I didn't...
Overselling yourself in a resume?
Well, yes, there is. Because if I write my resume and I send it to you, I'm using me as the example because I enjoy talking about me, so we'll follow up with that. I'm going to put my resume in front of you, and I'm going to write that I'm the best PR person that ever existed, and I can do excellent resumes, and I'm a perfect fit for your company because you'll never find another Linda Hamburger. And they're going to be like, I don't think we should be bringing her in. She sounds a little egocentric and even maybe a little odd, okay? Because you're putting in the resume, they know you're successful. You don't have to tell them I'm successful, because are you going to put in a resume and that you're going to put on there, I'm not successful, nobody liked me, and I've been fired? No, let's just cut to the chase. What software programs do you do? Are you familiar with TikTok and how it operates and how to use it in a business sense? You don't need a lot of adjectives at the point in your resume. You need the SEO, SEM keywords, search engine optimization, and search engine marketing to make sure you hit on those keywords for what the bots are going to be picking up. And they don't pick up, I'm wonderful.
She's good. All right, let's take a commercial break. A lot of great information. That's why I started working with you. Because I couldn't write a resume. I couldn't write a resume, and I thought, who would hire me based on being a stay-at-home mom and doing what I did? So I figured I could be an Uber driver, or I could go work with you.
Yeah, but I
still couldn't write a resume now.
I was a manager for John Hancock for 7 years. I must have hired, I don't know, 500 agents. I never looked at a resume because I didn't believe any of them. I still don't believe them.
I look at them, you don't. We just bring them all in.
Because I want them to sell themselves. And then I want to talk a little bit about the dress code and everything else when we come back from commercial.
All right, more to come on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Breaking news, aliens have finally made contact with.
Welcome to the AMP Media Studios here in beautiful downtown Boca Raton.
In conjunction with True Oldies Radio South Florida, AMP Media Productions is here to help amplify your impact in business and to bring greater awareness to our community. Give us a call, 866-224-5422. We'll see you soon at the cafe.
And like I always say, come on down and visit us and don't be late.
No.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, your family, your business, your peace of mind, you need reliable fire protection. Introducing All Fire Extinguisher Depot, Fire Extinguisher Service. Our certified technicians ensure your extinguishers are always ready to respond to emergencies. Before and after, we leave your fire safety in top-notch condition. Join the many satisfied clients who trust All Fire Extinguisher Depot for fire extinguisher service. Because when it comes to fire safety, there's no compromise. Contact All Fire Extinguisher Depot at 786-704-2750 to get your extinguisher service today. Your safety is our priority. That's at 786-704-2750. All Fire Extinguisher Depot, protecting what matters.
Hey Kaylee, what's up?
Hey, nothing, what's up?
Nothing, just looking for music for Grandpa that I listen to while we're in the car.
What's wrong with listen to now?
let's just say we have different tastes, you know?
Why don't you try listening to a podcast on Spotify?
Like which one?
The Broken Cafe Studio one is really good.
Okay, I'll try that one out. Thanks.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought.
Has your heater busted, computer crashed, appliance broken? Then you need ARW Home.
Life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with ARW Home. Don't waste thousands of dollars on air conditioning, appliance repair, and replacements. Save that money with ARW Home. Protection plans that cover household appliances, systems, and electronics.
My air conditioning broke on a Sunday. I called ARW, and they came out and fixed it right away.
Get your free quote today. Call or go to arwhome.com now.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. Guess what? They want your money and they can take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter right over here that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you right now. So what do? You fight back by letting our team of experts work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And hey, we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws, and we'll fight really hard to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket. 5 minutes of your time right now can save you thousands of dollars. And the best part, it's a free call, so please call right now.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
A lot of great information. So I want to bring our crew into this conversation because we have a lot of applications that come into this, and we call this essentially an internship program. We call them all producers. But our best producers are some of the ones that have no resume, or the resumes have absolutely nothing to do with what they're actually capable of doing. But I think we're an anomaly because we bring everybody in and we call everyone. And this young man sitting next to you just graduated from grad school, and he showed us his resume about a month ago, and we laughed. We didn't laugh. We said we got to work on it because
we didn't laugh.
It is not indicative at all of what he's capable of. This young man right here, amazing. We've never seen his resume. And then we've had resumes of people we said, who is this? They said, we work for you. We said, you do? So I wanted them to be part of this conversation of, because he has a career coach and a resume person he's working with. Right, Bax?
Yes, ma'am.
So what are they helping you with?
The main thing they're focusing with me on is format was the big thing. They wanted me to decide, right now, don't focus on what you're putting on the resume because that'll come naturally. So what you need to do right now is get your resume in the correct format.
So why is that important, Linda?
All right, thank you for letting me interject
Please,
there.
yeah.
Because format is everything. If you're doing a fancy format, you're not doing yourself any favors. The format should be simple, clean, double spaced, no long sentences, no run-ons. You don't even have to use the word the a lot because people will elide over it. But you want it to be, they look at the resume, they see at the top, you're a graduate looking to get into, what is it that you're looking to break into?
Just anything production.
Okay, so from the very first line, you should say enthusiastic new graduate looking to break into on-air production. The skills that I have some experience working with XYZ, and I know how to use this technology. The last sentence should be, I am a member of the International Production Students of America. I made that up. I don't think it exists.
Let's make it up.
But the point being, the first sentence should be what it is that you do and want to do, and the last sentence should remind them what it is that you do and want to do. Plus, you should be an active member of a professional organization your entire career, not just while you're job hunting, but your entire career.
Yeah, and it's just like somebody told me at one point, wow, I am white as a sheet.
Talking to you, my boy.
Can we fix Baxton's game, please? We got you.
Okay. Like somebody told me that the first sentence is the most important because that is what catches people's attention. Like if this first sentence sucks, then they're not going to read the rest. They're just going to go on to the next one. Is that true?
Oh, that's true. Definitely true. One time I wrote up a resume and I said, charismatic and energetic public relations person. And so they brought me in for the interview, and the very first thing they said is, we just wanted to meet the funky person who said of themselves that they were charismatic and energetic public relations person. I cringed, because that's not what I wanted to have come across, that I was some bubbly cheerleader doing PR. I was a serious professional, and I wanted them to understand that. So I would rework that in a different way. A dull opening, but one that works, is 20 years, highly experienced public relations professional, having worked with blue chip clients.
There we go. And how about length? People say that one page, is that the length, that it should not be over one page?
Definitely should be over 2 pages if you have at least 5 years of experience, whether in that exact field or in general, because you're going to convey your age.
Well, he's just coming out of graduate school.
So he's going to be 1 page.
I've had about 2 years, but the issue is I've done a lot here. And it's like, it's going to be nearly impossible to explain the multitude of things I've done here on a single page while listing skills, why they should hire me, education.
And that's why you hire a resume writer, because they have been working. I mean, I've worked with hundreds of people through the years, and so they understand without you having to what is going to convey the best to you to get interviewed. Your goal is to get interviewed. It's not to talk about all your accomplishments of what you have done and what you used to do in your previous job. They only really want to know what you're going to bring to the table when they hire you. So they're not interested in Linda Hamburger's entire career. They want to know if they hire me, I am prepared, I can hit the ground running and write some press releases and get extensive media coverage. So you don't want to put too much information in there.
But you want to put just enough.
But just enough.
Linda, I've read his resume, and his resume and the person are 2 different deals going on. Because he has discovered new qualities of himself recently, and it's not reflective of the paperwork. It's not. Now, I've hired so many people, and when I see him and I see what he's written, they don't match. And I think that the resume is very bland, and like you said before, if you're not getting the interviews, it's the person, but if you're not getting the calls, it's the resume. And I think that in Baxton's case, Baxton has certain qualities that outshine other qualities, and his resume doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't capture it. So I think it's more of fine-tuning and getting that balance so you're not overzealous, you're not overselling it, so it sort of matches up with his personality.
Well, without seeing it, I can't address myself to that, because that's where I am extremely unique and why people, again, hire me, because I can sit there one-on-one and work with each individual. And it takes me about an hour at most to figure out how I'm going to be able to present this person in the best light possible.
So if you had one thing and one piece of advice to give to somebody writing a resume, what would it be?
There's no one piece of advice, but if you really must know, I wanted to get to this, as I said before the show ended. I would suggest you make one of these phone calls. The Florida Reemployment Assistance number, 800-681-8102. Register on the Employee Florida Market website. Contact Career Source Broward or Career Source Palm Beach County. And once you do that, they're going to do the rest for you. They're totally free. They'll help you write a resume. You can go in and do workshops. They'll show you how to dress for an interview.
And this is all free. You don't have to pay for this.
It's totally free, and it's fun. I mean, it's a little bit of a drive to go to the Palm Beach. So if you live here in Boca and you want to go to Career Source Palm Beach, the number there is 561-340-1062. It's a drive. It's a drive.
But it's worth it.
And it is. Thank you for saying that. It is a well worth it drive.
That's incredible. Great resources.
It's just about investing in your future, I presume.
Too many people they don't want to do it. They don't know better way to do it.
Well, they also don't know these resources.
Yeah, like I had no idea this kind of things even existed.
Well, think how crazy that is, because you just graduated
Yes, ma'am?
from a very good school, and
Yes.
they didn't share these resources with you.
No, I don't even think Lynn knows they even exist.
And we've got other students that are just graduating from other really good school, and no one's ever come forward.
And nobody's ever given them
And
the
they're all
information.
they're just lost. These kids, we call them kids, but they don't know. They're sort of thrown in this big vat of the world, and they're picking up jobs as servers, as hosts, as
Job
whatever they
doesn't
can,
do.
big box stores, because
Worst
they don't have these
advice
resources.
I ever got when I graduated with my first master's degree was you're going to get 60 to 80,000 a year, and don't tell them you can type, because you don't want to be considered an office administrator or a secretary or something lower on the totem pole. So I didn't work for a year, and I cried and I cried. I had to work in the store selling clothes. I met a mentor. He said, get out of your house and go to networking events. He said, networking events. Oh, but it's $20 or $25 to go to each event. He's like, well, your parents just paid thousands and thousands of dollars for your college education, and what, you can't go and ask them for another $20, $25? Is that the issue? Okay, I'm public relations. I knew how to do a workaround. I would walk in the back door, sneak in, and tell everybody I'd paid. Not that I'm recommending that.
Not that we're recommending that. Thank you. But Baxton is our ambassador. He goes out to networking parties, and he's begun. People in the community are even calling me now and saying, "Can you send Baxton?" And it's just changed. I also want to touch, before the show ends, I wanted to touch on how do you dress for an interview?
Always a step above what you're interviewing for. So at various times in my professional career, I've been hired as a manager, a director, a solo practitioner, and don't tell anybody this, but I worked at Ann Taylor The Loft selling clothes in between certain gigs. Okay, and you know what? I dressed the same for all of them. I put on a nice girl suit, woman suit, and went.
Is there such a thing as overdressing for an interview?
No. I mean, if you show up in a tuxedo or a wedding dress, you have killed it. But common sense is going to lead you. And again, I'm a repeater because I love to repeat and talk about myself. When you go to these free services, they'll even coach you on what to wear and how to dress.
And it's like, I've even heard from some people saying that, oh, never dress better than your boss.
I never heard that.
I never heard that.
Your boss starts to think,
Linda,
oh,
you've
you're
heard
better
that?
than them.
I've never
you're dressed
heard
better
that.
than
I never
them.
heard that. That's a wise tale. Linda, interview, sneakers or no sneakers?
No sneakers.
Thank you. Thank
Ever.
you.
We've had people come in here for interviews. They don't work here now. Flip-flops, socks, shorts, and jerseys.
Sorry.
Or a tank top.
They made it easy for you to find the right talent
Crop
out of a
top
pool
for,
of millions.
belly shirts for the girls and flip-flops. And then they get offended when I tell them, No crop tops, no belly shirts, and no shorts. And they look at me. Or now I tell them on the phone when they come for the interview what not to wear.
See, but I don't want to do that
He doesn't
because
want us to do
when
that.
they come in here, I'm going to say, okay, so you're here to do an internship in what business? You want to work for McDonald's or you want to work in production? So I got to be brutally honest because you're being brutally honest with me. You think that flip-flops and sneakers are going to impress me, you're mistaken. So I'm going to be just as brutally honest with you.
What's kind of peculiar is those very students and young people that are coming to you dressed that way, they're not going to go into Ann Taylor the Loft or Sephora or any number of retail stores dressed that way. They're going to dress nicer to go into a job at the mall or store than what they're coming in here for, potential position that could launch their career to a very exciting field. I would thank them for not dressing well because they've made it very easy for you to find the candidates that are going to be a better fit. If that's what they're comfortable with, then they need to find a position that's going to match their style of clothing. Software engineer, for example.
Interesting.
Or work from home.
Or work from home.
I work from home. From here up, it looks good. Okay? From here down, might be shorts. But I put all the makeup on, and I dress up, and I make sure that, as best as I can, the lighting is right.
Look presentable.
Yeah, well, a little more than presentable. I mean, I'm presentable.
In the media business, you got to be organized. You got to be organized mentally as well as physically. And I think you're beginning to see how complicated a board can be. And these are still learning boards. There are complications like if you do J.C. Dreesen that involves timing and things of that nature. So Josh is ahead of the curve. But he's in music, so it's a little bit different. But in our business, you have to be on point. Because the moment you miss a mark, you are now paying the client back their money. And what they don't understand is the kiss of death is being late by a minute or missing a mark, and all of a sudden, you don't have a deal anymore. So what you were getting paid thousands of dollars to do, you're giving it back. You're working for free. And they have to understand the urgency of it. They have to understand the complexities of it. And they have to understand that to get this position, you got to raise yourself above everybody else that you went to school if you want it. It's really difficult to express that.
Okay, I shouldn't bring this up, but I'm going to give you kind of an odd example from my own experience. My husband owned a sporting goods store for many, many years. And some of the women that would want the position would come in dressed very sexy, and tight clothing. And they'd get hired. But do I recommend that as a, process? I mean, exactly. So that's great for a tennis store, and they were modeling the outfits that the customers were buying, and they were the face of a company.
But wait a minute, what'd they get hired for? I'm serious.
Clerk, stringing tennis rackets, good question. I mean, this wasn't an office environment. They would be making maybe minimum wage and hoping that they might find a very wealthy tennis player to show them some interest. I'm not being facetious. I'm being honest.
No, I'm being honest too. You remember back in the day in New York, they used to hire that kind of physique and put them in the windows. I think Macy's started it. And they had live mannequins. And they used to move. Wow. Remember those?
Yeah.
And they were beautiful. Yeah. These people were models. And I went down there and I saw it. And I says, I would hire her in an instant. I would buy the clothes because they were moving in them. It was unbelievable.
How they look.
Public relations was extremely guilty of this when I was younger, and it still is. In fact, I knew clear-headed that I would age out of public relations one day because you're out there, you're the face and the tone of the company. So I go to very important events, shake hands, and if it's the live entertainment business, they want me to look like I'm in the live entertainment business. I never knew when I would be on camera or be in front of a microphone. So looking good always was important, but the problem is you had too many other PR people who looked good but didn't know Syzion. They didn't know Barron's. They didn't read a newspaper. They didn't know how to write a good sentence. They get found out.
Interesting. A lot of great information.
Oh,
and interviewing, when you go in for the interview, Dress appropriately, listen or talk?
Interviews are rough. There's one thing that stays consistent, and the word is yes. So just, yes, I can do that. Yes, I've done this. Yes, I will be doing that. Yes, yes, yes. Let's say they ask you, do you know how to lay out and design a document? Yes, I've taken some classes in it, but I would need a little more tutoring, for example. But you want that word to be yes. You don't want a whole lot of conversation. If you're talking too much, you've probably blown the job. You just want to say yes. Does that make sense? I mean,
Absolutely.
I know it
100%.
sounds-
Yes.
100%. And what about canceling an interview for a job? Can we do it another day and then canceling a second? What is going on with this canceling stuff?
I try never to cancel, and I do look down on people who cancel, and that's inappropriate on my part, okay? Because things do come up, emergencies do come up, and one should be very understanding of that. Today, for example, I was going to be talking to somebody about being a tutor with their service, and at the last minute, they canceled with me and wanted to reschedule. And they wanted to reschedule when I'm on for this show. So that's not a professional organization that I necessarily want to work for. Cancellations, avoid them at all costs, or ahead of time, let people know that you have to check to make sure you don't have a conflict. I wish I could say differently. I'm very understanding, but they don't know you yet. They just don't know you. The fire department, the police department, they bring you in for that first time to meet you. You come in the door, you say, I was held up by the train at the train station. They say to you, go home. It's that harsh.
Interesting.
It is just that harsh. You either hit that deadline when the air goes on and you have to go on air.
True.
There's no,
When you
can't
gotta go, you
recover.
gotta go.
You gotta recover. And it's funny you say that because the turnover right now, I know a lot of friends that have a lot of businesses and their turnover rate is tremendous. They can't seem to hold on to kids that are working. And I don't use kids, adults that can hold the job for some reason. They miss work, they don't do this, they don't do that. The turnover has been tremendous the last 6 months. Don't know why, but it's relevant right
And for
now.
us,
what's
for us too.
And it's difficult. It hurts us when it happens because if you're really serious, I mean, think about it. You spend 4 years, hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to university, and then when you come out, you can't find your way out of a room with the door open.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a very important point. Sometimes the employer is the problem, not the young person, because we've gotten this DEI thing, and we've gotten this where you have to be very, sensitive to other people's feelings, and you have to be very understanding of the fact that something might come up at the last minute. And so when they come in front of you and you say to them, my expectation is that you will dress appropriately, you will not wear a push-up anything, your collar will be high, you're afraid you might get in trouble with the fashion police.
Yeah.
But yet, your job is to also train and mentor your new employees. How do you do that if you're so nervous behind the scenes that somebody might go and say they didn't respect my religion because maybe you said something or did not say something without thinking? Employers are people. Sometimes they might not be thinking, and they may say something inappropriate. And you either, as the employee, have to be able to speak up and say, I thought that was a little inappropriate, not a good idea. But you can say that, especially if you've been working at a place for a while. Or the employer can say, I know this may sound a little inappropriate, but it's very important for this position that you X, Y, Z.
So I guess I have to be more appropriate.
I did not say that, did I,
I could be a little bit too honest. But in my world, if I'm not honest, and if I don't give you an honest opinion of what is going on, then what's going to happen is you're going to end up hurting yourself in this business. And maybe I just don't have the patience for it anymore. I used to be more tolerant. Dawn is much more tolerant than I. But urgency is he needs a job. He's going to want a family. He's going to have bills. And I got to urgently get him up to that grade so that he can be successful. It isn't for being mean. I don't want to be mean, but I have to be brutally honest because that door, outside that door over there, they're going to be brutally, brutally honest against them. And I have to do what I believe in my heart, not to hurt them. I have never hurt anybody in my life in here. I want them to strive, but they got to want to strive, Linda.
Okay, so again, it's very important for the young person. Back in ancient times when I was in school, people did not expect to see a work history on your resume. There was a lot of things they didn't require to see. But as a young person today, you should have some experience in being a volunteer for an organization, maybe having an entry-level job. You're soaking it in at that young age, and you'll learn this stuff just by doing your church volunteer work or feed the poor or any number of things. And you see people to emulate. Somebody might even mentor you.
Amazing. How do people reach you? Great advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, well, it was a lot of fun being here because I got to talk about myself.
I think she's hilarious.
Google me.
But she's good. She's honest. She's good.
Google me. Linda Hamburger. I'm at On Call Resumes with an S at the end. On Call Resumes at AOL.com. That tells you how long I've been around. But if you Google me, Linda Hamburger, On Call Resumes, you'll find me. There's maybe only one other Linda Hamburger in the universe.
That's true.
So it's not going to be too difficult to find me.
She's
and I'm on
terrific.
LinkedIn, and I'm on Facebook.
And before we end the show, I just want you to know that we have the AMP Futures.
AMP Media Futures Foundation, some more information coming about that. It's our newly formed 501c3 to bring awareness to the diversity, equity, and inclusion of our youth in media and moving forward to give them a step up on getting into the production field.
That's right. I just wanted to kick that in there because she talked a little bit about in that field. But that's good stuff. Good information.
Shall we close it out with some J.C. Dreesen?
Why don't we do that?
You can follow all of our shows on AMP Media Productions on YouTube, not just the Brooklyn Cafe show. That's just one show that we produce here in the studios. We produce shows, over 20 shows, I believe, a week, from All County You and Your Doctor to Call Me Zena and everything in between, Making Money with Laura Sanders, and a whole lot more. So like it, subscribe, ring the bell on YouTube to get notified when all of the shows go live. Ready to play some J.C. Dreesen?
Let's put events.amp2.tv to get your tickets. We have new tickets on sale there at the Bigger Theater. Tuesday, May 14th. Bring mom and let's celebrate Mother's Day 2 days later at the theater.
And we'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. at Costa Duce. Come out and join us for a live morning show at the bakery. We'll see you tomorrow.
Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Let's hear it.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to, dreams really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up with the clouds of fall behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why, then why can't I? Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up with the clouds of fall behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find than a white. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.